Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me and all of our guests this evening. We thought it was a great opportunity for all of us to come together and just kind of give a nice little chat about general DeFi as well as all of our projects and what we're involved with and the changes that we're all trying to make in the space. We think that it's important to show the overall community that you can come together and collaborate, as well as stick to your own innovations and push your own projects and break barriers together and individually. My name is Chris Ginn. I am Meta Captain to my community, founder of Meta BUSD Coin. Um, all the projects on stage this evening are actually all involved in the BSC space that rewards in BUSD um, coins. So we actually have a lot in common just on a basis there alone. I will kind of just let everybody introduce themselves real quick. As my own personal disclaimer, I do want to mention to the entire community that anything that you hear from me is not financial advice. Um, we're just here to talk, have fun, and introduce each other's communities as well as a larger audience to what real collaboration and partnerships looks like. Crypto Atlas.
Yes, hello everyone. I am Crypto Atlas, and I am sponsored by MetaBUSD, and I'm excited to be here in this video and to hear what all these awesome developers for their projects are going to be discussing, giving an opportunity as well to see some of the engagement from you in the community and what it is that you're going to throw at them. And so, yeah, I'm just very thankful to be here and to have this opportunity to see this space unfold as it is. It's the first time I've actually done a roundtable with so many different developers and so many different projects. I've done one-on-ones before on my channel, and I've covered a variety of different crypto projects for sure. And I think that this is going to be a really fun time.
Yeah, my name's Kevin Reamer, CEO or project manager of BUSD Buffet. We just launched, 5 days ago. This sort of roundtable discussion, it kind of fits into with what we're doing over there at the buffet, trying to work with all the projects in the space to kind of keep everybody going. I know, especially with like reward tokens, volume is huge. So trying to find a way to keep ours going as well as help others keep their volume pumping.
Nice. EJ with Reflex, team lead. We're also a 15% BUSD reward token, but we've taken a very, very bold stance prior to even Chris putting this all together in regards to partnerships for other strategic projects that are doing real blockchain utility. And, we're super pumped that we've already gotten a partnership with MetaBUSD. One of our partners has been Greenlight Energy. And I think it's hopefully just a sign of the times that there's maybe a shift in the whole DeFi BSC space, that we're going to start seeing more collaboration, not based on trying to basically harvest other communities' holders, but literally combining knowledge and combining education to be able to not only advance, your specific utility token, but be able to advance the entire space, because we're all so small in so many ways. But as a mass, I think we can do some beyond amazing things together as partners. So.
My name is Chris. I run a YouTube channel called Mobile Trades, and I'm also the media director for GNL, which is Green Life Energy. Like EJ said, we're partnered with EVRF right now. We're a self-reflecting token, and I'm excited to be here for this conversation. I know most of these guys here, and I'm excited about real utility, and then just merging, everyday life with blockchain, making it usable. And that's, there's plenty of room for competition, and not just that, but also, coming together and making this happen in this space as we're, really early to this. So I'm excited to be here tonight. Thanks for having me, guys.
Hi guys, my name is Crypto Rabbit. I am the Chief Communications Officer for Reflex Finance, a token that launched about 11 days ago. My personal motto is crypto and community. I love the whole crypto positive movement. Our token is really big on collaboration and being a positive light in the space. So I'm really excited to be here and to be a part of this roundtable.
Hi, my name's Raymond, COO for Reflex Finance. Just honored to be here. There's a lot of good tokens up here, good names. Meta, thanks for having us. EJ, thanks. We talked last week about a few things. Thanks for helping us out there. Kevin, good guy. We talked a few times. Crypto Atlas, nice to meet you. How you doing? I would be on video, but I didn't shave today, so I don't want to show, my 5 o'clock shadow. But to go off of everything, what everyone's saying is, there's been so much negativity in the crypto space for some godly reason. We just need to be positive. You kill, evil pretty much just by overcoming it, by being kind and helping one another out. And at least that's how I was raised. And talking to the majority of the people here, offline, they're good people from what I get from them, helping out one another and just being positive and pushing that movement. And obviously you're stronger as you come together as a group rather than one trying to battle 20 people. So, that's what kind of drew me to this situation tonight and to sit down at the round table. So thanks for having me.
Thank you guys for y'all's wonderful introductions. I wanted to go ahead and take a moment to do some quick questions individually to everyone. I'm going to start with Toten real quick. Sorry, Kevin. Specifically, if you could real fast, give me a super fast pitch on what BUSD Buffet is doing different in the space to bring a little bit of change and innovation, specifically to do with like smart contracts and exact DeFi innovation.
Yeah, the main utility that we have is our call it the kitchen. What that's doing is essentially acting as a buyer of its own. So the tax from BBFT, a portion of it goes directly to that contract. The contract will then take that, ingest the BNB, and use it to perform buys and sells based on our input to the contract. So when somebody buys some BBFT, the tax hits the BKIT. BKIT rolls through the list of tokens that we have, and it will basically buy those tokens. So it's acting as a buyer on its own. So there's a wallet that holds all the tokens. So it's out there buying larger tokens, smaller tokens, really whatever we have in there. We have a system that we use to rate the tokens because we don't want people to think that we're out there making our own decisions and investing in things based on our feelings or what we think or our friendships and things like that. It's all straight math. And the reason we're doing this is so that we can every week sell a portion of those tokens and use that to function as our buyback and burn. So initially it's like 20% of everything that we hold in a specific token. It'll be swapped over for our token and then burn. Each of those transactions is taxed. So it's generating volume for the tokens that we are buying and then selling. It's also generating volume for us. And it's kind of a way to kickstart stagnant charts for, again, us and for the tokens we have in the BKIT.
Awesome. So, and just because that was super technical, just so I can recap it real quick in like a brief, like what I gathered from that, my own personal summary. So from what it sounds like, you've got like an algorithm-driven buying system that is purchasing tokens in other projects and holding those tokens for rewards and then distributing those rewards to the holders of your token.
Yeah, that's part of it as well. So the tokens we have that reward in BUSD, that BUSD gets sent over to the main contract, and then it gets pumped into the distributor. to send out the BUSD to all the holders. And then the buyback and burn again, because it's essentially a bunch of small buys. That volume also generates rewards for the holders as well. And then the transfer to the burn wallet, a separate transaction that also is taxed. So there's, like I said, trying to find any way possible to, again, keep volume coming in any way we can.
Awesome. I'm going to come back to you in just a moment with a follow-up question. But for right now, I'm going to take the same question and I'll repeat it real quick just so it's fresh on everybody's mind. And if it's okay with you, Trades, do you mind me asking you a question about GNL?
Sure. Go ahead.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Same exact question. What are you most excited about that GNL's got going on that's actually changing something individually about DeFi and how its impact is on the space? As far as what you can actually share, I know you're privy to all types of information, but what you can actually share publicly.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of stuff that are in the works that we can't share. But the thing we're probably most excited about is taking, this concept of crypto and, applying a utility to it that it can be used on a day-to-day basis that merges into everyone's life, whatever your day-to-day activities are. For example, we're making a wallet that's in development that the GNL token will be used for. And it's to power the wallet. We're going to have different types of cryptos that can be used for payment systems and whatnot. But it'll be similar to a QR code system that can be used for people to pay for their electric car charging ports or scooters and things like that. You think about where the world is going as far as electric vehicles, and it's not just the United States, it's all over the world. And we're in talks with energy companies that are ready to build the infrastructure for us, and that it would be powered by GNL essentially. And then the app would be used for that payment system. They would connect up to your electric car or whatever. And it's you're going to have the option in the wallet to use fiat. You're going to have the option to use crypto. That way it's accessible for everybody. And what's awesome about it is it's not a new concept. If you have an electric vehicle, you're familiar with technology, and it's just a way to implement DeFi and crypto into everyday use. And so that's a big thing that we're excited about with it. I don't know if that answered your question, but
No, that absolutely answered my question. Especially coming from you, who it came from, and how it was answered. You did fantastic. That was perfect.
okay.
I mean, no, seriously, because I get excited about the exact same stuff. Because what you're talking about there is something that is actual use case, true use case, something that you're already doing, you're already familiar with, and how many people would love to just use their let's say gains, whatever they have in the crypto market. A lot of times there's people I know that have more available in crypto than they do in fiat. And they would love to actually be able to transfer that. They would love to be able to have further use cases just on a daily basis. So
Sure.
anytime I see stuff like that, I get excited. I am going to now ask the exact same question to, I think it would probably most appropriately go to Raymond, I believe, if I'm correct. What is Reflex got going on right now that you are most excited about, that you believe is going to have a true impact in the space and change the way that we look at DeFi?
So what I can say, and because obviously we're fairly new, like a lot of these tokens, we do have some partnerships coming up, and one thing that I am getting excited about is working with other tokens, and ones that have been around that aren't doing so good and building them up. A lot of this has happened behind the scenes, and I'll leave it at that. But we have a launch pad, and everyone seems like they're coming up with launch pads right now, and they're all great ideas. I'm never going to bash another token. But we're doing things a little different, and we're learning from other launch pads that are out there. Every launch pad, you want to help a new token. We all have been there. Obviously, we've been there very recently, and we have put up with a certain launch pad. But I rather have a token launch and not have the burden of them paying large fees. And for me, I think it's going to help a lot of startup tokens / companies. You can save upwards to 100 to 200K just by giving majority of that back, 90% back, 80% back. I can't go into all the side utilities that are going to be built into that, along with a few other things. So, I don't want to sound like I don't have anything going. We do have a lot, but we just are not releasing a lot to the public until around March 14th.
Well, and also, Ray, you could touch on. I mean, we could.
Bring up
the greatest
staking
thing about the Launchpad is that our goal is to make this space more secure and make it easier for people to you buy at launch, you go straight into a DEX, you have everything there, and we vet these projects, and so when they launch on our pad, people know these are vetted, these are projects that are going to be secure, and if they're not, then we have actions to protect the people who are involved. So that's another big thing about Reflex.
I'm normally the one giving too much information, but
I'm not giving that much information. Get out of here.
So basically, if we're going to go into that scenario, yes, there's going to be a heavy duty vet process. We all know about KYC, right? And the process through that, you have to do a photo, give them your state ID, hold a nice little piece of paper up, say the date and stuff like that, right? So we're obviously going to go a lot deeper than that into the vetting process, and there's going to be some tier charts for tokens and the security of them. And everyone's like, oh, you can't rug pull free, blah blah blah. There's our ways around it. To be honest with you, where we can guarantee that, and if something does happen, yes, there would be reimbursed. But once it launches, obviously that will not be covered. So I will go into that. We also have staking that came up. A lot of tokens are doing staking. That's great. Don't get me wrong, but we're doing staking and it's launching. Am I allowed to say this one? It's launching this week, obviously, but
yes,
it's launching Friday. I just won't give a time, but your tokens will stay in your wallet. It will never leave your wallet. They will be locked, so you won't be able to sell or trade them. And we want to keep them in your wallet. They're safer than bringing them outside and storing them in the wallet, because obviously some stuff that just happened a few weeks ago where a wallet did get hacked for a token. But when they're in your wallet, you will be collecting BUSD. You don't have to unstake to get your BUSD. It would actually be building up in your wallet.
It's like just like an auto compounding thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
But for auto compounding, you're obviously going to have to unstake and restake, right? X, Y, Z. I'm not going to say or break down the math for everyone.
This is one of the hotter things going on in the market. This is the kind of stuff that I like to see. I've seen this coming out from many projects right now, and it's one of those things that once you've seen it and once you realize that that's how they're doing it, it's kind of like the only way to go. I feel that way with a lot of things in life. Whenever the first time we had fully nice, good working electric cars, we should have all just moved immediately to electric cars.
Right.
Real quick, I'm going to move over to EJ. I wanted to bring him up last just because I'm super excited about some of the stuff that this guy's got going on, just obviously because we've got a prime partnership together. But EJ, what have you got going on with EVRF that you're most excited about coming up in the near future?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of things that we're just excited about as far as what we're doing with our community and some of the promotions, the partnerships, the emphasis on education has been a huge part. But our big, excitement is, from my perspective, I have a 20-year career working in live entertainment, large-scale events, and then experiential marketing. So being a person that's in this space and getting to collaborate ideas with people like yourselves that are so into the crypto world that it's, sorry for the pets, that it's sometimes outside of the realm of the normal walk of society. So what we're trying to do, going back to why Chris and I have become such great friends, is implementing utilities that people can use on a daily basis that aren't necessarily in a utility token or crypto space. So coming from the ticketing world of live events, we're developing a live event NFT ticketing system and platform that'll be able to be utilized not only just by small artists, but anything from larger venues to sporting events, or in the case of like what we've been discussing with MetaBUSD, attendance of virtual reality events, things like a sporting event, but things that could be like a rocket launch, down in Florida. And this concept of NFT tickets, one, going back to the whole concept of crypto being more secure, but secondly, it gives artists a ton, all of the musicians and artists that I've been speaking with over the last year of this concept, the idea of them selling their own tickets in-house has always been an issue if they end up, say, hitting it big. And then the secondary ticket market takes over because you sold your tickets for, say, $20 and the price goes up to $100. This will give the ability for the actual small-time artist or comedian that they can actually get a portion of that secondary market revenue. So why is that important? Because some of these artists live on literally merch alone and don't even have the ability to scale themselves outside of like a regional act. Secondly, this is something that if you're an everyday person and you want to attend an event, it could be anything from a festival to a concert to a sporting event, you will be buying that ticket and not necessarily even be in the crypto space, but you want to attend that event. So going back to really one of the first conversations I had with Mobile Trades was, how do you implement utilities that force, in essence, modern society to start adopting blockchain utilities? Because it's so powerful and there's so many things that people can use it in everyday life, going into the virtual reality space if you're going shopping or if you want to attend an event. But real world utilities like they're doing with clean energy, like those concepts to me are just mind boggling, because it's finally getting people that are everyday, just normal roll of the dice individuals that aren't necessarily going to want to trade utility tokens. Maybe they're even skeptical of cryptocurrency, or all they've ever heard of is Ethereum or even, Bitcoin. So this implements a way for people to be able to attend events and be able to actually get into the crypto space, almost like getting their feet wet. I think that these kind of utilities are the ones that get me the most excited, because it really expands the market. Like if you take just the 2 million people that are trading wallets on BSC, that's a fraction of the whole crypto industry of 300 million. And 300 million isn't even that many. When you think of it on the whole scope of the planet, the number of people that attend events or attend sporting events or go to other things, it can be massive. And if we implement what I go back to, strategic partners, but strategic partners that are legitimate projects that are building things to either better the blockchain space, like utilities, like some of these other projects are implementing to help secure the space itself, because there's scams in this space. And then other partnerships that are doing utilities that are going to be implemented into everyday life. I love it, because there's nothing else that we've seen in our lifetimes since basically the internet that could revolutionize how people go about their daily lives like blockchain really can.
Okay, I have a really important question for you. What's your dog's name?
Oh, Brody.
Oh,
Brody.
he's so cute.
Yeah,
he's literally getting talked about in the chat.
EVRF. Yeah, if you go over into our Telegram, we have a whole list of stickers that are dedicated to EVRF, because every single one of I almost do all of our AMAs on video, and then you'll see, which I think has gotten coined Crypto Cat. That's Blair. So it's Blair and Brody, and these two love to, like, they're so calm during the day, but they love the attention when they know that I'm on screen, and they just go nuts. So,
all right. So I wanted to kind of just touch base on something that everyone here in this chat, you can hear the passion in everyone's voice when they're talking about their projects and each other's projects. We all share something, and that's the change and the innovation in the space itself. We all want the same thing. We all want further adoption amongst the mainstream. I get excited when I think about EJ's project and everybody's project here because, like, for instance, trades, GNL. If you get that to be the better system, the preferred method, it's more secure, it's just as fast, and it's widely available to everybody, then it becomes one of those things that I was talking about earlier, that's just the way you should do it. The same thing with the NFT tickets. That's another situation where I could honestly see that in time with further adoption, that's just the way it becomes. We've already started to really figure out easy on and off ramps for crypto, quick and seamless. The further that envelope gets pushed and the further we have product availability from teams like all of ours and many other teams in the space, there's some things, and that's one of the major things my token, MetaBUSD coin, hits on, are metaverse NFTs. That's the way it should be done. It's a better system. It's literally better than anything that exists now. Therefore, it's needed to some degree. And that's the same kind of thing that I think of when I see things like GNL, EJ, even Reflex, BUSD, all of these. And just to give Atlas a little bit of a shout out, and SafeMoon even, they're pushing the envelope on many things where that's the way it should be done. And if that's the case, further adoption will come from the mainstream. So just to really shake it up just a bit, I'm going to actually ask Atlas a question, if that's all right.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. So from your perspective, what is something that you've seen happening or happen in the past within the DeFi space that you believe is adverse to the space? The one of the main pet peeves, if you will, something that you know is just not beneficial and is something that we need to overcome somehow. If you could enlighten me.
Well, let me touch on what it is that I feel that in the DeFi space we need to really overcome. And I think that that's most encapsulated by the fact that this is unified DeFi, the whole idea of this roundtable, right? And I think that people are getting so hard set on specific investments that they kind of fail to grasp the bigger picture here. At the end of the day, these projects are code and they're cryptocurrencies. They're digital currencies. You're acquiring them by starting off with fiat, and they're using that through different avenues to be able to acquire these things. Now, what it is that you're planning on doing with them, what the rewards are, that's going to be a different story. But when we look at traditional fiat in the world that's entailed in, think about how many different avenues that you handle money with. You have savings accounts, Roth IRAs, 401ks, CDs, investments, annuity funds, insurance. The list just goes on and on and on. So I think that by unifying DeFi, you're creating a network, or essentially these waypoints where this provides value in this sense. And then how do we work on building off of that to strengthen that model? And that's where projects really can start to do collaborations. We can come together, and it's not so much about, oh, my project is better than yours. It's more so about what value does my project offer to this space? What value does this other project offer? And how can we strengthen and make this evolve, right? When you mentioned, for example, SafeMoon, one of their basic principle philosophies is evolving. So instead of just trying to tear down other projects because investors are so invested in a single project, I think people need to become more open-minded and realize how money is actually handled outside of crypto, and that we are getting to the point where we can build off that model, but actually fix many of those problems that fiat currently still has.
Amen.
Amen, for sure, man. Preach, Atlas, preach. And it's funny that you even mentioned that, because especially with like SafeMoon's crowd, and I know you got a lot of SafeMoon fans, so I hope I don't hurt anybody's feelings, but I know a lot of the diehard fans were even against like Evergrow to begin with. And it was, we hate Evergrow, SafeMoon only. And now that those two partnered, all that's forgotten, and it's funny. But every project could be the next Evergrow or the next SafeMoon. You never know, guys. Do your due diligence with anything that you're looking into, for sure. But I agree with you wholeheartedly, Atlas. I think people need to stay open-minded.
It's funny that you mentioned Evergrow. So I'm not SafeMoon Atlas, I'm Crypto Atlas, and I've talked about other cryptos on my channel before, of which included MetaBUSD. I talked numerous videos about Evergrow before it ever got launched, or there was any indication that it was going to get launched on SafeMoon Swap. So looking for these kinds of plays, it's funny how things kind of evolve. And then the next thing you know, yeah, there is a direct partnership. There is something of value that's there. And we're seeing new things starting to merge in this industry space. More specifically, I'm talking about with crypto. That's just so exciting. The whole crypto industry as a whole is only 13 years old. It's a teenager. Think about that. How much headache it is to deal with a teenager. And so you got regulations, you got compliance issues, you got trying to create a project that's troubleshooting one of those specific fields I was just talking about. And then they may have some things that kind of fall short, but that's where they either have the ability to update their contracts, or another project says, we're going to do something like that, but this is what we're doing differently. And I think that it's a really exciting time.
It is a really exciting time. I'm going to ask close to the same question to, I can't share two people, to either one from Reflex, though. I think this might even play to some of the direct use cases that you're really aiming for. But what is anything that you have experienced so far, even in your short life as a token or a coin, that has upset you? Something that you want to change, or that you think needs to be changed?
I'll take this one.
Awesome, fantastic.
So the biggest thing is, and I've talked about this in other like spaces and such, is kind of to hit on what was said prior, that maximalism, where you're like so focused on one project, or negativity towards other projects. It really doesn't help the space. If you have someone come into a like a Discord or a Telegram, and so say they have like a SafeMoon logo, and they come in and they're asking questions, and then people start attacking them, and then their investment doesn't do well, they're going to go out and tell their 5 friends, I got involved in crypto and I had a terrible time, and these people were ugly to me, and then their friends, that's their impression of crypto. But if they come in and people are inclusive and they're welcoming and they're helpful, and they just have a lot of fun being in the Discord or the Telegram, they're going to go tell their 5 friends, man, my investment's done all right, but I have a ton of fun over in crypto. Then their friends are going to be like, well, maybe I should look into crypto. And then maybe their investment's moving, maybe they'll look into it even more. But, I think that's just something that we have to keep in mind, is that it's not just the person that you're talking to, it's the people that they are talking to. You are setting an example for crypto, not just your project, for crypto. And that we are, this space is so new that like only 3% of the world owns crypto, or the United States. I can't remember. That, we're so in our infancy that we have to set an example. And if people come here and they don't have fun and they have an awful experience, they're not going to invite more people into the space.
Okay, so from what you said, I think a lot boils down to just like the general atmosphere of the space. You think it needs to be picked up, cleaned up.
Yes.
You see a lot of man club, you see a lot of, just pure maxis in a lot of communities. I can understand that. If I could, I'm actually going to address the exact same question over to Toten. Kevin, what have you seen in your life so far from a project that you think absolutely needs to change or has just surprised you? I can even twist it a little bit. Anything that you've seen that's happened to you personally so far that has been shocking or surprising?
Well, to start, I want to keep going with that theme that everybody's got to this point, the divisiveness. To make that not a thing is a good goal. One of the things that we're doing again with this B kit, because we are essentially going to be holding these other tokens, it'll be in our holders' best interest to make sure those tokens are doing well as well, and go find out about them. Gives them incentive to broaden their horizon from just a single token and say, okay, so I'm holding this BBFT, but if these other tokens do well, then I do well as well as them. So again, the way the B kit's going to be continually buying and then selling small portions helps with other tokens volume. That's how our team is trying to help bring more awareness to other projects, to other tokens as well. Basically, get everybody on board. It's a small part, but I think it's a start. Just because I know when I first got into this space, it was Evergrow. That was the only coin token that I had my money in there, and I didn't know about the rest. And I fell victim to that as well. I was like, yeah, go Evergrow. And it took a minute for me to get there, but that's one of the motivations behind why our project is doing what it's doing.
So I didn't even know that. So like your first token was Evergrow. That was your first investment
in this space. Yeah.
Okay. You mean like outside of like big coins?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I did like Dogecoin and all that, but who didn't? Like, that doesn't really count. But yeah.
Well, and I love that the B kit makes it to where, like, if you are a holder, you go, okay, well, they have XYZ, coins in there, then you want those projects to do well because it benefits you as well.
Yeah,
and it may encourage you to go look at that community.
Yeah, 100%. That's one of the drivers for that. Like one of the things we have coming up too is calling it the Incubation Program, but it's really just to take projects, or even just somebody who has an idea and isn't sure what to do with it. Because that's kind of where I started. I had an idea for this, and I was like, okay, cool. What do I do with it? And it basically gives people an avenue to introduce their idea and help them like find developers if they need that, find marketing strategies, and just say, this is what you can do to get your project going. And then take their project and introduce it into the B kit as a way of helping get that community rolling, get the investments coming in the first place so that they can just have some momentum going without it being, and I guess this is where I'm going to go into the thing that I found most surprising. It's not a lot of projects that do this intentionally, but so much hype from people who just want to come in and make $1 million in the first hour. And there are some launches, and it's nothing they did wrong. It's just that's the way it works. There's a ton of hype. You have people dumping just boatloads of money, and then you have people who got in before them saying, "Hey, I can make a profit," and then everybody just starts selling, and it's not a fun day for a lot of people. And so our launch was slow and boring, but it's been a steady climb from that, and that's what we're trying to help out with as well with these new projects in the incubation program, is give them a launch that is not such a shock, so they don't have to watch their coin explode up into 10x in the first 30 seconds just to watch it drop down, so a big green to a big red, and then it's like disillusioning, and you're like, what am I doing wrong?
I think there might even be somebody here that has like a personal experience with that. We'll get to him in just a second. I'm gonna actually bring up mobile trades for just a second. If I can, I'm going to ask you a question that's a little bit different from what we've just been talking about.
So what I have prepared isn't good. Okay.
Correct. Correct. Well, I want to know because, or here, I'll share a little bit of my story. I have worked with many influencers in the space, and uh, I've worked with good ones and I've worked with not so great ones. I consider obviously you and Atlas top notch, not just content creators, but actual like due diligence checkers for your community. I know both of your communities personally. So it's I get it's really cool that you guys operate the way that you do. And I've had a lot of bad experiences from other influencers, even other partnerships that I've had in the past, not just with NBC, with other projects I've been attached to. Um, I kind of just want to know, like on a personal level, um, how do you actually go about navigating the like decision process in your head about how you're going to work with somebody and whether or not you take on those projects?
Well, that's a loaded question, but you know, it's kind of weird because a lot of this happened really fast with the YouTube channel and whatnot. I started off covering pretty much just SafeMoon solely last summer, and then I started, talking about different cryptos as I started to expand and learn more about the Binance Smart Chain and the different projects because there's all kinds of projects, and you know, the process for vetting and getting to know who's behind the project has evolved as I've done this more. Um, and I'm very careful as well about, if I'm going to partner with someone or anything like that. Like GNL token is the only token I've actually partnered with and put my name and doxed myself on the website for. And that's after extensive, research and also talking to the CEO, John, and getting a feel for what he's doing, understanding his passion and the game plan for what's going to happen there.
There is nobody else that has as much passion as John.
Yeah, John's one of a kind for sure. Feel usually pretty inadequate talking about GNL when he's not able to do it. But the truth is, like, when you start to, because I don't know when I officially became an influencer. It doesn't feel like I am. I don't really consider myself that. I just feel like a normal guy who just throws up videos on YouTube and covers different projects. If I do a review for someone that's sponsored, I make sure that I tell people that. I think it's scummy and unethical if you don't tell someone you're being paid to talk about something. And my audience knows that as well. And, because, I was talking to my wife about this a couple weeks ago. I said, what's scary about influencers? Or I said, myself included. I said, you can become a millionaire in a couple months, easy, or sooner than that. And she's like, no, you couldn't. I'm like, yeah, you could. I said, you could dump $5 grand, 10 grand into a small cap project, make a video on it, dump it on your followers, do it again and again and again. And, no one's the wiser. I mean, I guess someone would eventually find out, but by the time that happens, you're scot-free and you're doing well. And so there's a fine balance to all that. There's a verse in the Bible that talks about a good name is rather to be chosen than riches and silver, and a good name rather than gold. I botched it up, but that's kind of like my motto. There's nothing's worth your reputation, right? There's no amount of money that's going to I guess that's worth ruining you for. And there's a lot of projects. I don't know if Crypto Atlas is the same way. You get reached out to almost daily by one or two projects at least a day that want you to talk about them or that are looking for marketing. And I get it. But I say this on my channel all the time. 90% of projects are going to fail, or they're a scam, or they're just a pump and dump. And it's the sad place to be. So it's tough navigating that. And, my greatest fear is ever to talk about a project and then it rug pulls or something like that, or something bad happens because I talked about it and then people bought into it or whatever. But, I don't think you ever feel like you have all the answers when you're doing this thing. But
so your answer was actually just like, again, fantastic, because it's the same reason why I love you and Atlas so much. And I do. I love you guys. Y'all are just honest, and you can just tell. The response was off the cuff. It was extremely honest, and it's true. And keep up the good work, both of you. I'm gonna slide over to EJ real quick. All righty, man. Catch you off guard real quick. All right. So, I need to ask. We talked briefly, and we heard Toten mention it. I know, obviously, you could not control the amount of hype that was on your launch, but I don't know if there's many projects that have ever existed in this space that have actually experienced what you and EVRF experienced.
Yeah.
For lack of a better term,
Running out of liquidity and contracts locking up.
Yeah, just all together, there was just a lot going on there. Huge green candles, huge crazy spikes, and I want to make it clear, like, I didn't even know this whenever I first met EJ, but I was actually just hanging out in his Telegram, a terrible place to hang out. His Telegram's fine, but just Telegram as a platform. But I was hanging out there, and I literally read live that he and his team had gone through and made spreadsheets and were trying to pay back holders if they had bought on the giant candle that his launch had created. Yeah. In case anybody here listening is unaware, I don't know the exact numbers. I'll let him share this information for you guys. But it was a giant candle up because everybody bought at the same moment. And the way that it works when you're trading against liquidity, guys, there's only so much you can trade for in a moment. And when you're trading against all of it, there's only one thing you can do, and that's shoot the price up. If for any token that exists right now, if you went to PancakeSwap and you typed in whatever the supply is, the entire supply, and you try to see how much that is in BNB, the number that you get back is going to be a ridiculous number because you're trading against a liquidity pool. So that liquidity pool is what sets the price depending on what the ratio of the pairing is. Anyways, so essentially my question is, how did you go about navigating that in the moment?
Well, so one benefit, and I think a lot of cryptos could take a page out of the EVRF playbook. We took 3 months from announcement and then announced the launch and then waited another month to do the pre-sale. So 3 months of community building. They got 4,000 people in our Telegram, all organic. We've never paid a shiller. We never had a call. We never did anything because I'm kind of that way too. Telegram's kind of a toxic place. So the community actually, the core was always build it on rapport, build it on integrity. And that helped because a lot of that foundation of those holders stayed through the crazy spike that we saw. Because like you said, 2,500 transactions trying to get in one block in the same 10 seconds. It just, the system can't work that way. We saw a spike up to 30 million market cap, and then obviously it comes back once some liquidity is pulled. The benefit, okay, and I'm always a forward thinker, and I'm always one of those people that don't live in the residual past, always be looking towards the future. But in the moment and in the opportunity, I'll reference going back to what Chris just said about integrity. That's what we have. You can't sell yourself out on integrity because then the trust is gone. So our team, and there's a number of admins that we have an Excel document that shows how do you calculate the amount of, the price of the BNB that you put in to be able to generate the price that you bought at, to be able to calculate the market cap. And then we've just been spreading out that Excel document for pretty much on every Sunday. I'll be spending the whole time in Telegram walking people through, showing them the market cap that they purchased at. If they bought over a 15 million market cap, then we're airdropping. I think we've airdropped in the range of probably 5 to 6 trillion tokens already into those individual wallets coming directly from my contract address wallet to make sure that we're making the best move possible. Can we make people up 100%, not always, but we'll do our damn best. And the nice part is where we're at now is that we've leveled off, that we're seeing things that are coming back around because people realize, one, that we're taking it on because it's going through this process of adversity, I think is one of the things that you can learn the most, and it's the best opportunity for education. And we've leveraged that to not only be in the Telegram and give out these Excel documents, but then, not that I'm just like trying to pump everything that Chris does, but I obviously love this man. But like Mobile Trades does some stuff with Tango Crypto Discord, and their tier 2 package has insane amounts of education. So right after our launch, we were giving away year subscriptions to their tier 2 package because we know you can go in there and you can educate people. Or one of the things that we're actually launching in our Telegram this evening is we're doing we're giving away scholarships for 1-year subscriptions to the Morales Academy. So if you want to learn education, all you have to end up doing is holding 1 million EVRF. We're posting the sweep widget tonight, and you can actually write an essay and say why you want to learn blockchain development. Because in all the adversity, you can look at it and you can dwell, and then you can live in the residual past, or you can take it as an opportunity to educate people. Because one, there's already a step to get into crypto that takes some education of like, wait, there's multiple blockchains. Wait, I need BNB to be able to trade into this liquidity pair, all those kind of things. Then you compound that by the fact that we're all in a small group of BUSD reflection utility tokens. So how does that work? Wait, I have to turn on Binance Peg, BUSD. So it's always education. That always comes back to the key. And what I can also say about this is that I've had so many one-on-one conversations via Discord and via Telegram with community members that bought at the top. And we've gone through, 10, 15 minutes of discussion, walk through the numbers, airdrop them a few tokens. And the gratitude is humbling. Like straight up, people that are just blowing me away because of just their commitment to the project, commitment to us. And I say this a lot, that I always think that you should pick EVRFlect, obviously, with 15% BUSD reward. But I also think that if you don't want to end up, be in our token, pick one of these other projects. Pick a Reflex. Like I've talked to Raymond a number of times. BUSD Buffet, I'm not as familiar with the project, but I know a lot of people that know him specifically, that it's a legit project. No different with GNL, or no different with MetaBUSD. We're in a small segment of a space that if you're already 92% are scams or rug pulls or are going to fail, that leaves us into a small 8% segment. And most of those aren't going to dox themselves the way that we do. They're not going to be as legit as the way that we do, to be able to put themselves out there. Support those teams. Like, this is a business. We're doing this specifically because we want to advance blockchain, and we also want to advance the whole industry. But support those projects. Give encouragement. I'm not saying it for me. I'm saying it for the whole industry as a whole, because that's what we need to be able to expand the space. And once you end up seeing that space expanded with that community interaction, that people are like, oh, this is actually something that I can respect because I respect either the founders or I respect the project, then it can bring new individuals, just like Crypto Rabbit was saying. That's the only way you get new people into this space. If there's always toxic language and there's always this like, I need to steal from this person's holders to get to this person's holders so I can sell out on this person's holders, it doesn't work that way. There's not enough holders. Straight up, combine every token that's in this space. Even if you throw in SafeMoon, and even if you throw in EGC, we're not even at like 1 million. I mean, if you think about that from the number of holders where SafeMoon version 2 is, with the number of EGC tokens, like I was saying this the other day, like I've done festivals where we have 100,000 people on the fairgrounds for that one day. And it's so difficult for many of us tokens to even get to 100,000 holders. Like, we do this together. We cross utilization of tokens because there's projects that can build better utilities that we can. We might be able to build a better NFT ticketing platform, but there's no way in hell that I can do what you can do in the VR space, or even to come up with some of the stuff that Kevin's talking about. Like, that's just, I'm like, that gets me excited because he's a math geek, kind of like I am.
Well, I'll honestly say some of the stuff that Kevin's got going on really is just like straightforward thinking.
And that's what's cool about this space. Yeah.
I wanted to real quick, just since for everybody that's listening live, EJ is with Reflex. Mobile Trades is with GNL. Crypto Atlas is just a straight G. He's just Crypto Atlas. Rabbit is with Reflex. Kevin is Token Maker from BUSD Buffet. And then I am Chris, Meta Captain from Meta BUSD Coin. So I had seen somebody comment twice now. Can we list off what projects we're all from? Yes. So that is them.
Don't forget Ray.
Oh, so I'm so sorry, Ray.
I'm quite over here. I didn't want to call anyone out. I figured you did it on purpose, you know.
No, and just as a quick recap for anybody that's listening, we are all involved in the same space. We all have different roles. Some of us are within the marketing side. Some of us are devs. Some of us are influencers. But we're all involved in expanding the DeFi space, and not just BSC. I want to see success across the board. The further we can get blockchain adaptation, the happier I will be altogether. And that's just God's honest truth. I do have another question I want to send around the room real quick, and then we can maybe start to do like a roundup conclusion thing. One more question that I have for everybody that's here, and I'm going to start with Kevin. As far as your actual involvement with companies goes that are involved in the space. So what I mean by that is what we all consider standard practice places. Have you been happy, surprised, or upset with the type of transactions that have taken place? I'm trying to navigate that as like politically correct as possible because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus here. I can openly speak about my own experiences, and I will do so here in a minute. But just as far as generally, how do you feel like the space is on a professional level, even with establishments?
I think it's definitely getting better. Like I say, given where I started, I didn't have as much experience as the rest, but it's come, even in a couple months here, it's come a long way. Like I said, evidenced by the fact that we're all here right now. This is not something I would have even thought possible a couple months back, because again, everybody has had their own little compartments that they were in. They picked their camp, and that's who they hung out with. Right now, I'm seeing people from all the different projects jumping into other Discord servers just to say hi and hang out with other communities, which is awesome. Like, you stop by ours every now and again, and I think it's great. As far as the level of professionalism that's coming with that, I don't necessarily think you don't need professionalism so much as we just need civility, and that's really what it comes down to. I think we're getting to that point. People are getting along. They can talk about projects. They can ask questions without it. Like, not every question is FUD, and that's something we're trying to foster as well. I know a couple other groups here been in there, and it's the same thing. If you have questions, ask them. Ask them in public. Answer them in public, and let's all learn and grow together. So I think that it's definitely coming. It's come a long way, and it's going in the right direction. So I'm optimistic moving forward.
Okay, so I'm going to give my own sum up of that question real quick, just so everybody is aware of what I'm asking here. I am I'm very lucky that I was able to do a um, public-private sale and public-private launch, fair launch of my token, of my personal project. I've been attached to many projects over the years. I've helped many projects launch. I've gone through numerous launch pads, navigating different projects through that process, as well as dealing with all of the main wallets that we're aware of, the different uh, blockchain service providers that we're all aware of, and even up until this day, I am brutally shocked at some of the interactions that come from these large name establishments. I'm not going to name any specifically just to not shake anything down or ruffle any feathers, but I do see innovation within those spaces. A lot of it's coming from newer projects that have seen the same things happen to other projects that I've seen, and some of the uh, Launchpad or IDO or RCO offerings that exist, some of the way that they behave, some of the way that some of the DEXs behave. And what I mean by that is if you were launching a project as a dev, and let's just say you even had $1 million in liquidity, and something happened through the DEX, there's currently no support that is available whatsoever. And I understand some people say, hey, it's blockchain, it's DeFi, there's only so much support that can be provided. I'm telling you from a developer, that is not the case. You can provide further support. Again, I am not attached to any launchpads, any services like that personally. So I can speak a little bit more freely about my experiences with those providers. But on a general level, I think it's surprising, especially to outsiders, that even from a developer point of view, project lead point of view, CEO point of view, the experiences that you'll have on a day-to-day function with, again, extremely large established names that we all know and love and use. Every single person here in this roundtable uses it, as well as every single person listening. Some of these service providers, when you find out how they actually operate behind the scenes and on a professional level, it's shocking. I mean, coming from the background that I have with amusement supply industries and automotive industries, just dealing with top level developers, and then coming over here and operating in this space for as long as I have, and seeing how long it's taken for it to get better, and it is starting to get better, to be clear, but shocking. So I guess with that being said, I would like to forward this exact same question onto another person without saying too much or getting yourself in any type of trouble or anything like that. Is there anything that you can add on or say, Raymond, about your experience so far in the space as far as professionalism goes across the board? I know, for instance, all of us might have as well a different experience. You might not have ever had a bad experience. I'm just literally curious.
You know, I'll be honest with you, Kevin probably summed it up by far the best way anyone could put it. You know, I would never have thought, like he said, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, a month ago, everyone just having this conversation just because how things been. It's like a cult like environment. Like you're either with SafeMoon or EGC, a Dogecoin, and if you kind of steer away, you get hazed and everyone starts hating you. You get bullied. And I think this is kind of a start of something new. And a lot of people have been, putting the crypto positive on Twitter. I think that's starting to spread. And, there's people jumping in other people's room, not, fun. Just, like Kevin said, they go under, say, hey, how you guys doing? It might be 2 or 3, quick little comments, just, how's your day? And, they take off. Like if you did that 3-4 weeks ago, Jesus, the hand of God would come down on you. So, I really can't add anything to that. My experience, if we want to go on that, it's been pretty positive. I've been in this industry for about 6 years, and I kind of got out of it just busy with work, and then I got sucked back in with SafeMoon and EGC, and everything's been pretty positive. I try to stay out of the negative stuff. If not, Crypto Rabbit kind of smacks me around she's like my handler, so to say. So, no, I can't say anything more. He summed it up perfect.
Awesome. Perfect. Close to the same question. I'm gonna word it a little bit differently for Atlas. So, what have you experienced? And like, I know I somewhat asked you this question earlier, but specifically to do with project interaction on a professional level, have you experienced anything that has shocked you?
That shocked me. Well, one thing that I've noticed is that when projects try to reach out to me, as Mobile Trades was saying earlier, yeah, I receive probably at least one new project that's trying to reach out to me per day. And the verbiage for most of these projects, it's shocking because I feel like maybe they've just gotten used to this with other influencers, and I feel that it's a bad representation on what it is that we do. I agree with you, Trades. I think that our reputation is a lot. I wanted to commend you, by the way, just me personally. I love the fact that you quoted something from the Bible. I know you kind of didn't get it perfect, but I understand what you were going for. I believe in God myself. But I got all these different projects that reach out to me, and the verbiage for most of them, like 90% of the time, is, hey, we have our own crypto project. How much do you charge? And that's it. Like, that's their introduction. I don't know sometimes what the name of their project is. I have no idea of what their specialty is. How does it function? Anything about their team? None of that stuff. They're just straight to the point. We want to pay you to shill our stuff. And with most of the market being consumed with all of these illegitimate projects that are just trying to scam, I kind of get the feeling that there are a lot of influencers out there. Unfortunately, not all, right? But there are a lot out there that just take every single one of these deals and then leave people high and dry as the investors who get caught up in it because they're just trying to find that next big project. That they look at the Shiba Inus or the Doge coins or the SafeMoon, and you see those massive price spikes up, and they hear these stories of people who got rich overnight by doing these projects, and they're thinking about their own lives and how much they hate their day job, and they're saying, well, this is an emerging space. What's going to be the next big thing? I don't want to wait 5 years or 20 years, which is kind of funny because people have been so used to working till they're 65 and they can't wait 5 years for some of these projects to really get some momentum. But it's just, I think it's so disappointing that so many projects that are trying to help get their word out and want to go the route of doing sponsorships, that they don't actually try to build the relationship with the influencers and to actually provide a reasoning or even a brief introduction of what it is that they feel that they're bringing to the table of value here. It's just like, hey, just promote our stuff. And so it disappoints me.
Yes, and I can attest to some of that as well. I know I mentioned earlier that I had some bad experiences with influencers, and I'll share that experience with the public just because I don't mind doing that. I'm very open and honest with my community, the NBC community, so everybody within my community is fully aware of how all that transaction took place. And it's very common for a lot of projects to do a transaction like this. So the way it worked for me is early on, before my launch, I tried to set up a few partnerships with a few influencers, get my project picked up by them even before launch. Most of the good guys and the great ones out there really just can't do that because of obvious reasons. They need to make sure there's trading functioning. They need to make sure all the proper paperwork's in place and stuff like that. Things that, like, for instance, Crypto Atlas and Mobile Trades both needed to see before they ever did anything for me. But I still personally, as a project lead, and my team is telling me, we need to make sure we have somebody on board. So I got a couple on board. I won't mention their names right now anybody from my community can share that information. I do not mind. But I picked up a couple of influencers, and the way I covered their cost was I paid them cash out of pocket as well as team tokens. And there were certain stipulations placed on these tokens, but these were trust agreements between parties. Even contractually bound, but not in a smart contract form, just through written and verbal agreements. That being said, these influencers that I had on board, they did what so many of them do. They sold at all-time highs. They got out, they left, and they abandoned my project. I no longer speak to them. I no longer want to speak to them, but that is a very common practice. So not only did they ruin a relationship that they had with me, but they also burned my community of holders. They took from liquidity one way or the other. I have to work back twice as hard to make sure that I make that up to my holders, to everybody that is holding my token. I need to make sure that they get that value back somehow that was literally taken by these other influencers, these bad actors. This happens all the time in this space. It's not talked about publicly ever, but I don't mind talking about it, and I think it should be talked about.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Okay. Curious. Have you personally ever heard of a YouTuber named CoffeeZilla?
I have.
I recently came across his YouTube channel, and already I was trying to be a very respectable base influencer where the things that I'm sharing with, I've done some research into it, and I felt that there's enough there that I can be able to share with my community because it's something that I myself would be willing to invest in. Just like I always say, I didn't say it in this live stream, but I'm not a financial advisor. This isn't financial advice. Go do your own research on this stuff, right? But watching CoffeeZilla's videos, it's so disappointing how you have these big named influencers who not only will go and take advantage of their community space, but some of them are repeatedly doing it. And people still buy into that because some of them are like, well, I already have a feeling this next thing is going to be a scam. But if I get in at the very beginning before anyone else, then I can pop out and still be able to make my money just like they can. And the last thing that I would want to do, or I have a feeling anyone that's on this panel would want to do, would want to be in the receiving end of a video like what CoffeeZilla covers, because that is the worst representation of the market. And we need to look to videos like that to see what these people are doing wrong and to acknowledge that there are people out there that are not doing that and that we need to lead by those kinds of examples.
No, absolutely. That's I love CoffeeZilla, by the way. That's he does a great job. Yeah, even his video production, just like top notch. It's funny too because he actually did a video specifically covering his video production. All right, guys, this has gone on for a little bit over an hour now, and I try to promise everybody involved that I'm not going to keep up too much of their time. I'll be operating one of these roundtable chats every 2 weeks. I'll cycle out all of the participants in between. We're going to see some of these guys on here again. We're all very friendly here in this space. You'll see new people on. You'll see some of the same old faces, but we'll continue to have this talk and continue to push this forward. I would like to give one last opportunity to just go around the room and let everybody just give a quick sum up, do any shout outs they want to do, and say their goodbyes. Since we're on Atlas, let's start with you.
Well, thank you so much for having me on this roundtable. It's very insightful. I love being able to hear on the other projects and just the point of view of individuals outside of the standard roundtable that I do with some of my friends. There's other crypto influencers we've been doing every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for those. But my name is Crypto Atlas. If anyone would like to check out my content, I am on YouTube at Crypto Atlas. I'm also on Twitter at Crypto Atlas YT. I primarily do coverage on updates that are going with SafeMoon, but I do cover a variety of other crypto projects as well. And I've been very privy to seeing new projects emerging in the node-based sector. I think that's really fun and exciting right now. And again, just thank you so much. God bless everyone that's here. I hope the projects can all come together and there's lots of success moving forward. And let's stay positive. I know that with the everything else that's going on in the world, and especially if you got money in investments and it's down, that's where a lot of this heated moments can really come up, right? And when everyone's making money, the euphoria is high. It's like, good morning. Hey, how's it going? So great to see you. And then when it's down, it's like, I don't want to talk to you. Don't talk, So let's just remember that the markets go up and down regardless. And at the end of the day, it's just money. Let's still be good people.
Absolutely. Great sum up. So you mentioned nodes. This is the node king right here. Trades.
Yeah, well, I'm thankful to be on here. I got the verse right now. It's a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, loving favor rather than silver and gold. All right, it came to me afterwards. Sorry for that. But yeah, I'm thankful to be here. And then I it's really cool hearing the perspective from all the different projects here. I'm very familiar with EVRF and Meta BUSD. I'm starting to learn more about, BUSD Buffet and Reflex as well. And, like they said, I think a lot of the things that have happened in crypto, the good part about crypto is you can make a lot of money fast. And that's also the bad part about it. Because, everyone expects you to move at lightning speed with your business and your utility. And what you have is 90% of these projects, putting out something like a silly game that doesn't have the functionality of a simple game like Temple Run. And then everyone's like, yeah, we got our utility. And then, this isn't generating anything. And so just keep doing what you guys are doing. And you guys are really making a good change. And it's good to see. So thankful to be here. Like I said, I'm Mobile Trades YouTube channel and media director for GNL. So
Thank you, Trades. That was fantastic. Raymond, would you like?
Yeah. Hey, thanks. Thanks for having us here. CEO for Reflex. Just keep the positive attitude up. If you guys have questions, anyone has questions, you guys can come in, on TG or Discord, and just ask away. We're not going to shy away or boot you guys out or anything like that. A lot of people shy away from questions, and I would say everyone at this round table, they're not going to shy away. I've asked them some hard questions and they didn't even hesitate to answer them. So just stay positive. If you guys have questions, ask away. And, market will go up and down, like they said. So don't be afraid. If you see a red candle, it's going to turn up always. Take care.
The market has always came back. I will say that much.
I agree. It follows a lot of scenarios, but I'm not going to get into, the Bitcoin and the BNB and all that fun stuff. So.
Yeah, but just when in doubt, scroll out, right?
Exactly. Just look at the graph. You can see it,
All right, EJ.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I just want to, more than anything, acknowledge everybody that's in this room because, Atlas and Trades, I know how busy both of you guys are. Chris more so, but it's like you guys have so many people that are trying to vie for your time because of what you do for the industry. And then it's mind-boggling because a lot of people don't know how much work Rabbit and Raymond and Kevin, those three, are doing right now. But I guarantee almost none of them have gotten any sleep because their projects are doing well. They've done it right. They're doing legit utilities that are going to help the industry. And so I just want to acknowledge all of you guys. Thank you for taking the time to be out here to actually make a stance and show like uniting DeFi is critical to the whole industry and what we're going to do to represent this to the larger space. This is the core start of something. And then the person I have to acknowledge the most is you, Meta. Like, thank you so much for organizing, even getting everybody's schedules, because you were taking time out of what you could have been working on to make sure. I mean, the number of times that you just had to even fluctuate the times for this thing to make sure everybody was available. It's not easy to do with I know the level of people that are in this room. So I'm humbled. I'm blessed I could even be here, and keep looking to the future for this, because this is going to be the start of something that I think will really grow. And I love that you've already made kind of put your flag in the ground that we're going to continue to keep doing these, because it's important. It's important for the space. it's important for everybody that's here, and it's important that everybody's listening. So thank you so much, everybody.
It is really important, and I want to just piggyback off what you just said here.
Piggyback.
Yeah, piggyback. Everybody here in this room right now, everybody was excited to make time for this, and that's what I love. I've worked with many projects in the past that have been a little bit more standoffish about cooperation and stuff, and I understand those reasons why as well. But I think it's really important to set a standard of, if the team is legitimate and if they're operating correctly, they should be able to work together and cross promote each other's projects, as well as stay focused on their own. And I think that's what everybody here in the space tonight is definitely interested and involved with. I'm going to bring up
Hey guys, sorry if y'all hear snoring in the background. My husband's passed out over here. I tried to slap him, but it didn't work. I just want to say thank you, Meta, for putting this together. It's been really fun. I've been really excited about this all week. Thank you to everybody on this panel for joining in. I love listening to everybody's perspectives. If you want to learn more about Reflex, you can hop into our Telegram and Discord. I see one of our moderators, Maddie, blowing up the comments down there. She's one of the most positive cheerleaders in the space. I absolutely love her. Just be the example that you want to see in this space. Like, be a leader. If you see negativity, if you see people needing help, reach out. Be the example that you want to see.
That's fantastic. Thank you for that response.
Yeah. Thanks to Meta for putting this together, and really being I've leaned on you quite a bit during a development of our project, which even just like telling you silly ideas and hearing your response just to get me to think, somebody to lean on. There's another project that's going on right now. Somebody that they're leaning on me, so kind of trying to pay that forward. I love seeing that sort of thing happen. The community is involved. Like on the Discord servers, Telegram servers, you see people just hanging out and talking all day, and that's fantastic. These communities are what these projects are all about. We're here to spend and make money, ideally, but you make friends here as well. And that's been awesome. It's a place that you can go and hang out. And I love seeing this sort of engagement, and I hope that continues and it grows from this. And if you want to find out more about us, busdbuffet.com has links to everything there.
Yeah, people come for the gains, but they stay for the community.
Yeah, absolutely. I can say that I know personally, some of the strongest relationships that I have in life have been spawned from crypto in general, but especially the DeFi space. Of course, I have a lot of interaction there and I work with a lot of people, but the community behind a lot of these projects is so strong, and it's what makes it's a part of what makes me so excited and happy to do what I do on a daily basis. Seeing everybody just come together, be involved, get involved with their investments, and truly hope for change and innovation, not just for their investment, but within just the world. Those things excite me. I was an early adopter for 3D printers, early adopter for VR, essentially anything that I have found, that I've believed in, that I think can make substantial change in real life for the better. That's what excites me. That's what gets me staying involved on the level that I do for DeFi on a whole. And I think I see that in every participant here on this in this group, as well as many other participants that I'll continue to have on this chat. And that's really what it's all about, is sharing our excitement and our knowledge just with the overall community. I believe that this roundtable will continue to grow and continue to change as we continue to put on these events. And I really appreciate everybody taking time out of the day to sit here and talk with me. I hope everybody enjoyed themselves. And if I invite you back on, I hope you guys are willing to come back on. If there's anything anybody would like to say, or if there's any questions that anybody has, maybe from their own community, I can give you all another moment to say something or ask a question. Awesome. I think we're good. Again, thank you all very, very much for joining me this evening. And I'll have another one of these here in 2 weeks. I'll get some stuff made up and put out. Oh, and by the way, real quick shout out to, sorry, EJ, can you tell me his name?
Yeah, Noodles.
Noodles, thank you. Sorry, Noodles.
Our in-house graphic designers that's just beyond his abilities. Just he's a great human, and he is actually over in Europe, so he had to go to bed already, so he's missed this. But
oh, he missed it. That's terrible. It's recorded though.
It's recorded.
Yeah. So in case so just for the general community to hear these things and know these things, EJ here on his own got his team to go, because I was falling behind on schedule. I have a lot going on with everything that I do, not just for NBC, but just life in general. So I was falling behind on schedule. I hadn't got all the proper stuff made up. And like me and EJ are true partners. We work on a lot of stuff. So we just talk about things behind the scenes. A lot of stuff going on with us. So he knew I was falling behind. He reached out to me and was like, "Hey man, do you need to get that promo stuff made up?" And I was like, "I sure do."
in our group of mods, we have 2 or 3 of them that are extremely creative. And Noodles was kind of the first to respond, because actually we have another one that goes by Hodler. He was already working. He's like, "Well, I'm at work right now, but maybe I can get it done in a couple hours." So he was working on it. And then a big shout out to kind of our in-house crypto YouTuber, Dirty Mike, as well, because he's been a massive support and doing a lot in the space of MetaBUSD. And we're thankful. We're truly blessed to have the team that we do in our group that's creating that stuff.
Yeah, and his channel's growing quick. Shout out Dirty Mike. Alrighty, guys. Again, thank you all very much for joining me this evening. I can't say enough. Like, EJ, I love you. You're open, honest, great partnership. Toten, the thing I would like to praise about you is the fact that I work with devs behind the scenes on a daily basis from a multitude of projects. And 9 times out of 10, even these devs that announce themselves as devs will say, "Hey man, I've got this project. I've got this problem with this contract. I'm going to send you the contract, pay you this amount of money, fix it, and send it back to me." Not the case. Toten said, "Hey man, I've got this issue. I'm not sure how to fix it. How do I fix it?" Essentially said, "Teach me, or let me learn. What do I need to do?" And we would just shoot back questions to each other, back and forth. I'd shoot him a question, he'd give me an answer. And that's what I love to see. People taking it on their own. Atlas, again, man, I can't praise you enough. Just true, honest content creator. On a personal level, I love you, man. I've been watching you for a long time. I feel like I've walked your journey. Keep up the good work.
Love you too, man.
Dude, Trades, I can't even say enough praise to you. Trades is almost single-handedly one of the reasons why my launch went as well as it did. I can't get into all the nitty-gritty details, but this man was right there with me the whole time. Love you, Trades. Raymond, I don't really know you too well, Raymond, but on a technical level, I've talked to you some behind the scenes. I'm excited to be working with you guys in the future. I think you guys got some great stuff going on, and honestly, I do see the innovation. I'm gonna have to have Reflex back on, I guess, because there's more that I want to talk about with you guys. But I know that some of it can't be talked about publicly. But you guys do have a lot going on, and I don't want your community or the community at large to miss out on some of what Reflex has got planned. So everybody pay attention to what Reflex does in the near future. Rabbit, super nice, super nice. I can't even say anything like else other than I appreciate you coming on, taking your time. Nobody here within this chat knows right now, but Rabbit came on with a migraine, stayed up late, sticking it out, doing this DeFi talk. I appreciate you.
Happy to.
Awesome. Alrighty, guys. Thank you all very much. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up now. Again, thank you everyone for coming around, being involved. I'll have another one of these on in 2 weeks, and I will start to get all the information put out here in the next few days as far as who will be on, where it'll be hosted, all that good stuff. Thank you all.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Mobile Trades. My name is Chris. In today's video, we're going to be covering Cronodes. And this is a Nodes as a Service project that I got into a little over a week ago, and it has been absolutely blowing up. It's the first of its kind on the Cronos network, so obviously it's going to get some hype and popularity. It is risky, like all projects are, as it is newer as well. So with newer node projects, you definitely have to do your due diligence and be smart with your investments, and you're taking profits versus compounding and whatnot. We're going to talk about my strategy a little bit, the new NFT line they just launched and how it benefits you as a holder and as a node owner. And then we're going to be talking about how much I'm making per day with my investment and what I plan to do going forward. If you could hit that like button and subscribe, I really would appreciate it. We're growing like crazy on this channel, and I like to cover crypto and passive income. So if that's something you're interested in as well, go ahead and give me a follow. So let's go ahead and jump into it. If you're familiar with the roadmap with Cronos and whatnot, you do notice that there will be a reward reduction in the future. It specifically mentions this here in Q3. Now, I think this will happen much sooner than that because if you're looking at what they're rewarding right now, you essentially earn one Cronode token per day. Per node. All right, 20 tokens to make one node. So you make back your investment in around 22 days because there's a 10% tax on that. So you actually earn 0.9 Cronode per day. We're going to talk about what the NFT does exactly. But you essentially are earning around 135% per month, essentially, from your initial investment, which is absolutely crazy. We expect as a standard for the most part in the node industry or the NAS industry to earn 1% per day, so 30% per month, which is actually crazy in and of itself. But, 135% is definitely not sustainable. So keep that in mind as you're looking at this. This won't last forever. You can't go and make a yearly income prediction off of this reward system. It's just not going to last that long. Now, when they do slash it, we don't know exactly how much that will come down. We could be earning 0.1 Cronode per day, right? Or 0.2, which would be, the 1%. So I don't know what's going to happen. So I guess the goal for me right now is pretty much to stack them, to stack these nodes and to compound in them and take a little bit of profit here and there. But what does the Cronode NFTs do? So if you mint one on the wallet that you have your node project run through, you get an automatic 50% tax reduction from that 10%. So instead of being taxed 10%, you are taxed 5% on when you go to claim your Chrono tokens. So that is actually a huge benefit to owning one of these NFTs. I did purchase 3 of them, and 2 are to flip in the future probably. But, there was 10,000 that were able to be minted. I guess it's probably around a few hundred left now, if I were to guess. There is an announcement in the Discord about, people having issues with their NFTs after it's been minted when it comes to claiming. And there was an issue that they did have. So what they're going to do is once everything is minted, there's going to be a claim button. You'll have to go back in and claim it. And then they're going to reimburse you for the gas fees just to kind of settle everything. So it's kind of cool that they're making all those things right. But if we look at Cronode in the price chart now, So for me, I like to look at price charts. I like to look at market cap. But being newer to the node space, for me, it's like treading in new waters. I'm not familiar with where to take a price prediction or where these could go. As you can see, there's still tons of buying pressure and people coming into Chronode. $40 a token right now on the chart. It's saying exactly $41. Market cap sitting at 40 million right now. I remember when it was 20 million just a couple days ago. So I know Strong sits at just under 100 million in market cap. You have Flux Nodes, which sits at like 380 million market cap. So I have no idea how far these could go. Obviously, when the reward system and the structure is changed, you could expect maybe a little bit of a price decrease. So what I'm trying to do right now is really just stack them. Stack the coins, stack the nodes, I should say. So that way, when there is a price reduction, I have that priced in. I make up for in the amount of nodes that I do have. So how many nodes do I have right now? I purchased on my own 10 nodes. I purchased 10 Crow nodes back when the token was around $11 a token, which is crazy because I wanted to get into it the night before and decided to wait till the next morning. And the night before it was $7 a token. So it went up crazy and I missed out on a lot, and that was unfortunate. But obviously with the price now, I'm not too butthurt about it. But so I originally purchased 10. I have compounded another 5 more. So I have a total of 15 nodes on the Chronode network. So right now my income is actually looking pretty good. It's sitting at $526 a day in rewards, which puts you at a yearly salary of nearly $200,000, which is absolutely insane. So one thing to keep in mind, this is actually set on the $39. If I could raise that $2, it's going to change, obviously. But look at the difference, $526 daily, look at the yearly amount. But look at the difference that this one NFT gives me, 0.95, because you take another 5% off. So I won't still earn one Chronode per day, but I will earn 0.95 once they implement this NFT structure. But look, it's a difference of $11,000 a year, and a difference of $30 plus a day. And that's just with the nodes I have right now. I'm looking to get about 30 nodes. That's how many I want in the short term. Probably 50 in the midterm. I don't know. It all depends on as I keep examining this project and following along in the Discord, seeing what their plans are and whatnot, because strategies adjust fast, like Power and Strong, those ones I can keep stacking because they've been around, well, Strong has been around a little longer. Power, I like their team and I like everything they've been through as a community and coming back from, when the price went really low. It's just, they're kind of catered around sustainability and I like to see that. Same with Strong, been in the industry for a while. So what you have with, like Chronodes and Angel is just a newer project, and they've got to prove themselves. They got to show vision. They've got to show determination to take that treasury money and put it into good utility to reward the holders and whatnot. So, I mean, everyone's strategy is going to be different. Your risk levels and risk tolerances are going to be different. So you really got to decide what you want to do for yourself, because I'm not a financial advisor. And I wouldn't want to be the one telling you what to do with your money. You really got to figure that out for yourself. I'm excited about where this is going to go in the future with Chronodes. And obviously, it's a good opportunity. And I'm just stacking them right now. I don't know. The price could go to 80. The price could go to 120. I have no idea. I'm not the expert on nodes here, just kind of giving you my journey as I go through this. Obviously, I like the passive income aspect of it. And if you can get into a project early enough where you can benefit from the price increase, that just makes your rewards all that much better. All right. So anyways, guys, hopefully that was, informative for you. Give you an idea of how much I can make from, my investment. My investment was around 22 to 2,800. I forget the exacts, but, obviously making way more than that on a day-to-day basis as I earn my initial and compound into more. So that's an update with the NFTs and the potential therein with Chronode. So anyways, hit that like button, subscribe. As always, stay safe, invest wisely. I'll catch you in the next video.
Baby, this place is clean AF.
Excuse me?
What I meant was clean and fresh.
Yep, because Pine Sol disinfects 99.9% of germs.
Can I offer you
Some soap for that mouth? Pine Sol, it's that kind of clean.
Thank you guys for joining in tonight. That was awesome, and I definitely want to rewatch that and see if I can get a little bit more from it either. All right, guys, stay tuned for future content. I put out stuff just about every day. Thank you guys, for joining me. Have a great night.